everyone. Welcome back to the Adoption Squad. We are your hosts. I'm Mary.
And I'm Annie.
And today we're actually going to read some letters that have been here for quite a while. We're each going to go ahead and read one. And I guess we're just going to jump into this, right?
Yeah, let's just jump in. It's Sunday morning again.
Yeah.
It's not a leisurely evening podcast recording. We're just going to jump in.
Right. So, the first one is titled My Wonderful Adoption Story. This story started in 2009. My son, who lives in Texas, I live in Illinois, called me one day and said that he and his then girlfriend were going to have a baby, but they were giving it up for adoption to a wonderful family that could not have children. At first, I was mad and upset. How could he give my grandchild away? But then I got to know Lauren. I knew she would not make a good mom. At her young age, early 20s, she already had 2 children. One was adopted by a family friend of her parents, a little girl. The other was adopted through an agency. She was just not fit to be a mom. So then I was happy about the adoption. By the way, I knew my son was not ready to raise a child either. On October 16th, I got a phone call that my grandson was born. I was happy but sad. I figured I was lucky enough to maybe get a picture of him. Then my son said they were going to keep him. I was in a way happy my grandson would be in my life, but I asked him about the family. So I deciphered this was the family that would be adopting the baby.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I told him that they broke their hearts. This family helped them in a lot of ways. I had already made travel plans to go visit my son on October 27th, but when I made these plans, I thought my grandson wouldn't be there. Now he was, and I would get to hold him and love him, though I felt bad for the family. After being there for just a day, I could see that Lauren was a terrible mom. I didn't see any kisses or hugs being given to that little boy. My son, though he loved his boy, just didn't show as much love as I wanted him to. On October 31st, I talked to Lauren about the future. She realized that she had one decision to make. She said that she wanted that family to adopt Cody Lee. The next sentence says that Lauren and this woman's son had an argument the night before, and that when her son got home, that Lauren told him her decision and that he was okay with it.
Okay.
So we called the adoption agency and packed the car with his things and headed to Austin. Lauren told me I could sit in the back with Cody. She sat in the front. We met the adoption agency in a Walmart in the Little Caesars. I was the witness. I had a little hesitation before signing, but I knew what was best. I handed Cody to the lady with the agency. She was great. She knew that under all the crying I was doing, that this was for the best. I went back home that Monday. Soon after, my son and Lauren broke up. Then, as the story progresses, there are people who are referred to by their first initial.
Okay.
Since this day, B has shared her heartbreak with me when she was told that Lauren and this woman's son were keeping the baby.
So B must be the adoptive mom.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She has shared her joy that day she got the call from the adoption agency that they were going to get this baby. She was out shopping with her mom. She called D right away. So D is the father.
Okay.
The
adopted father. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So she called him right away and they cried and prayed over the phone. Then they had to get to the agency to get their baby boy. I will always treasure the picture of her when they handed Isaac to her for the first time. Before Christmas, I had called the agency and asked if they could ask the family if I could have pictures of him growing up. They said yes. By the next Christmas, I had asked the agency if they would ask if I could send Christmas gifts and birthday presents also. They said yes to all.
Aww.
I've been sending gifts directly to them for years now. In the beginning, I had to send them to the agency and they would get them to the family. This family knew that it was me that talked to Lauren about how she had to give her son to this family and how they wanted me to be part of their family. Throughout the years, I've shared pictures of me handing my grandson to the lady from the adoption agency. Lots of pictures from my visit. I wanted them to have those memories. B and D, Isaac's mom and dad, adopted a little girl within a couple years from when they got Isaac. Then some great news. B found out that she was pregnant. They have a little boy. They have fostered two brothers and had hoped to adopt them both, but that did not happen. They both did get adopted by another family. When Isaac was about 2, they were in Chicago and wanted to meet me. I was so nervous and excited that day. And just this past September, they were again in Chicago. We met at a restaurant. I got to sit next to Isaac. They are a religious family, which is fine with me. Before we had our burgers and fries, Dee said a prayer. It was all about me and how they all have come to love me. I've been invited to visit them, and they have an extra room for me. I get videos of them opening their gifts. Isaac sends me letters and wants to know when I will visit them. B is teaching him how to play the piano and the trumpet. She has a musical background. All 3 kids sing at church in front of the whole congregation. They are in the pageants at church. Isaac is smart and so sweet. And all 3 are wonderful and kind. Giving this family this most wonderful gift was the best thing in the world. Isaac and my son have been sending letters to each other. The last time my son actually got to see and hold his son was when Isaac was around 1 year old. I thank God for this wonderful family. They love Isaac unconditionally. They all call me grandma. I get thank you videos. Last year, my father passed. I sent all 3 kids money for a college fund. Isaac was so excited. I've heard that Lauren had 2 more children that she put up for adoption since.
Oh, wow.
One day, I got a phone call from her mother asking me to talk to her about having her tubes tied. So sad that her own mom couldn't have that conversation with her daughter. Things are great now. I hope to visit them as soon as COVID is gone. My dream is to one day move to Texas, and then I can see them more and be a real grandma. I hope to meet the other grandparents too. They totally adore Isaac. I stapled it, so I'm sorry. Hold on. Mark my words. Someday you will hear great things about Isaac David R. A great pianist, or maybe a senator, or maybe president of the United States. He is thoughtful and kind. OMG, can you tell? I'm so proud of the young man he is becoming.
She's bursting with pride. Yes.
Well, this is my adoption story. I had to write this as I don't do Zoom, and I still cry when I think about all that we went through to come to this point. I just received 2 messages from B that 2 more Christmas packages just arrived for the kids. Yes, I send Christmas gifts to all 3 kids and to B and D. On Isaac's birthday, I send the other 2 kids gifts also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I am so, so thankful that they have allowed me in their life and that they love me. Thank you for letting me share my story. Now I have to go get some tissues as this story always makes me cry.
Well, a generous heart there.
Yes.
Wow.
And you are a real grandma.
For real.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe I think what she means is maybe get to go on outings and be around.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
They clearly know you and, have that connection with you. So I love this story.
I just love that she is just as generous with the other siblings that Isaac now has in his life.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. And, The part about Lauren,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really want to comment on that part.
Right.
Um,
Right. Lauren is clearly troubled,
mhm,
and you can only hope that she gets some help. And yeah, that's all you can do is hope. I'm not passing judgment. We don't know Lauren's history
right.
at all. What has led to these kinds of actions and decisions.
Mhm.
But there's an Isaac at the end of this who is
Right.
cared for and loved.
Mhm.
So that's the good part.
With siblings
Yeah, with
and
siblings,
a
yes.
grandma from afar, but still a grandma.
Oh,
And
yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
like it's just a wonderful connection. So I'm
Yeah.
so happy that you shared this story with us.
Me too. It's a totally different perspective. It's the
Mhm.
grandmother's perspective. Thank you.
And we haven't done that yet. So
No. Mm-mm.
I'm not certain if I'm allowed to name her, so I won't, but
Yeah.
she knows who she is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So,
that's a great,
yeah,
great letter. Good story. So, we'll switch now. Is there anything else you want to say about that letter?
I think we're good
Okay.
for now. So yeah, let's read the
So,
letter.
yeah, my letter is about a fantasy mother. That's what it was titled. And I resonated with that because, as we know, I had the fantasy father, Mickey Mantle. And I have to mention that right after my dad passed and my dog passed, I got in the mail some Mickey Mantle baseball cards sent to me by my sister like a month ago. They just happened to show up when I needed them most. They really put a smile on my face because she listened to the podcast
Mhm.
and loved, like, she did not know that I had this fantasy father, but she latched onto that and really liked that part of the story. So out of the blue, I get these Mickey Mantle baseball cards in the mail and I just love it.
Fun.
I'm like, ah, yeah. Mickey. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine.
Right. Oh no.
Sorry. It
This
just
is
bubbled up out of the past. What can I say?
oh, one of my
So,
favorite songs ever, though. Thank you.
yeah, it's a great song. Anyhow, so I just wanted to say thank you, sister. That was really, really sweet. Okay, now from the letter called Fantasy Mother. Hi, ladies, Annie and Mary. Thank you for the podcast. It's always interesting to hear other adoption stories. The Lucy thing was just horrible. That's referencing My Name is Lucy, that episode. No one realizes how we hang on every word about our adoption. It really just hit a spot with me. My fantasy mother was Joni Mitchell. I'm a little jealous. I didn't come up with that one myself, I have to say. After hearing the song Green, I wanted to believe I was her daughter. I look nothing like her, but it was the song about giving up a daughter and having it leave an empty hole in her. I really related to her music, like she was the only woman who ever gave up a daughter. She was just brave enough to discuss it. You can use my name, no secrets here. My birth name was Caroline, named after Caroline Kennedy and Princess Caroline. I did find my biological family, most from Ancestry and one from Adoption.com registry. Turns out I have 3 half-sisters, 1 half-brother that passed before I found the family, and 2 full sisters. I also found my father. It's been much harder than I ever could have anticipated, and did a few weeks with a therapist. I do what I can to be a good sister, but the fact is that it is hard to just grow a family of adults that you didn't grow up with. It's fun to learn what similarities we have, but not so much fun to discover the differences. I'm paraphrasing a little bit here. And she wanted us to leave some of the letter out, so I'm jumping forward. The sister, she references a sister who's 74, and she's the only sister I have not met yet. I have Zoomed with her a few times. She was the oldest and the only sister who knows about us girls, or knew about us girls. She had to have therapy, from what I understand. Imagine being a teenager and learning you have 3 sisters you will probably never meet. Yeah, it's hard to learn my father would never marry my mother. because she had been married when he met her, and his Catholic religion would keep him from marrying a divorced woman. I guess it's okay to commit adultery, but not marry the wife of another man. She's got some good irony here. Next sentence. It's funny, my cousins that have known my father their whole lives tell me what a loyal man he is to the family. I said, really? I never would have guessed. Yeah, I like Carol. So I had imagined a young mother, maybe still in high school. I mean, aren't most adopted children from the 60s from young unmarried women? Mm-hmm. I thought maybe she went on to marry and have children, and perhaps I have half siblings and cousins. Perhaps she doesn't want her new husband to know her shame, but just the opposite. I was the baby. My mother gave up 2 daughters, my full sisters before me. Each time she got pregnant by her neighbor, she gave us up for adoption. She left her husband and her 4 children with her husband. She gave up us girls. What did she gain from her decision? Nothing. I can't imagine giving up 3 children of the man I love. When she left her husband and dated my father for 10 years total, what must she have been thinking, knowing he was not going to marry her ever? Carry on. Word to your mother. Carol.
Carol.
Some rough stuff there, Carol.
A lot to unpack.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, this has to resonate with you, Mary.
Oh, so much.
Just, yeah, a mom that had consecutive babies, gave them up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, now the dog decides to come in the room, and the cat.
Oh, okay. Yes.
They're trying. But yeah, wow. I mean, and she has this almost sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Oh, you do. Yes.
Like what else?
Isn't that ironic? Yeah.
No. But I love it. So much in here. And I think Joni Mitchell would have been a very appropriate fantasy birth parent for you as well. So.
Right. Joni played the ukulele.
Yeah.
She did. Anyhow, yeah. I did not know about that song Green until recently. Mm-hmm. I've been a Joni convert recently and read up on that whole saga. So just Google it, people. It's a long story. But it's a beautiful song. Little Green, I think is what the name of the song is. Little Green.
Oh, I have to open the door. I know.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll just keep talking, I guess. Carol, we would love an update. You know, I would love more information for you about your mom. Did you meet her? You didn't mention that. Mm-hmm. And what other connections you've made with family. I totally relate to the part where it's hard when you are kind of growing up with a family of adults. But there are payoffs to sticking with it. Most definitely, at least in my experience. You know, there have been awkward bumps, for sure. More with some people than with others, but that's just human. Mm-hmm. You know, we're all trying to get through this thing called life. Don't make me reference Prince. But I just did. It
is always
yeah. So I think just keeping yourself honest and holding other people accountable too, and just having the most honest conversations you can, you know, and not making assumptions about what the other person means, asking questions. Oh, I feel like I'm doing a basic therapy thing right here. But it's really just, I just keep learning over and over again that just taking a deep breath and being honest gets you through some of the rougher conversations. So we want to hear more from you, Carol. That's, I think, my takeaway.
Yeah. And anybody else who's listening who can either relate to either of these stories or have one of their own,
Oh, yeah.
We're all about sharing other people's stories. We are kind of in a unique uh, club or squad,
Yeah.
after all.
Right.
Um, I'm sorry.
So is your cat playing with your keyboard right now?
No, that's the dog. So
Oh, okay. I heard you laugh, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're laughing at your dog, not at the material.
so he's scratching at the he's on the couch. He removed the blanket that's there that he normally lays on, and he's just trying to get comfortable
Oh.
and all of that. And it's like he's playing. But hey,
Well, it might be time to sign off then.
this is
It's
sorry,
Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody's worked up.
He's all excited. I have his favorite homemade treats here also, so he's going a little crazy because
Oh.
he loves them more than any other treats I've ever given him, uh, which is great. If anybody ever wants the recipe, I will send it along. But I loved doing this today. Reading other
Yeah.
people's letters was so fun, and
Well, just different
it,
perspectives.
yeah,
Oh, it's
I guess fun
neat
for
to
us
see.
because we don't have to really talk about ourselves.
Right. Right. Hey, let's start a podcast where we talk about our stories and then avoid talking about our
Right,
stories.
I know. Well, yeah.
Irony.
But
That's the theme today.
yeah, it was refreshing to hear from
Yes.
others. Is
Other
what I
voices.
really mean by that.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add today?
No, enjoy your day. It's cold as heck here, but it's a nice day for indoor activities.
It is. And the best activity of my day is going to be the puppy bowl.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm excited for that
really the extent of
myself.
it. Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I guess this is going to be the end.
all
So,
right.
okay. Hope you guys enjoyed the listener letters. If you would like to share your story, please write to us at theadoptionsquad@gmail.com. Feel free to remain anonymous if you wish, or you could be like Carol
Yeah.
and say, my name is Carol
Yeah.
or Caroline.
Yeah, Caroline.
There you go. You can also visit our website, theadoptionsquad.com, to connect to our social media pages and our YouTube channel. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and review to help us grow. So until next time, word to your mothers.
And to your fathers.
Bye.